Hi there, YouTube family. We are a team of three old-timer software engineers, Amit, Ashwani, and Mohit, and we aspire to share our experiences from field regarding technology, software, and programming. This is the second video of a multi-part series we are working on, which focuses on Azure functions and few of the best practices in this area. These practices cover aspects related to coding, code arrangement, CI/CD, and operations point. This video assumes you have working knowledge of Microsoft's cloud platform Azure, C#, .NET, specifically .NET Core, web applications, web jobs, and software design. In case you guys want us to create learning videos on those areas, do leave us a comment and we will plan such videos in future. We also plan to create short videos on other technology trends on different cloud platforms too and share our experiences. In our last video, we talked about basics of an Azure function and the need for building it using clean architecture practices. We will provide a link in the description as well so that you can revisit the content. Today, however, we focus on how to segregate cross-cutting infrastructure requirements, for example, logging, correlation, configuration, etc., in an Azure function, which is in our case written in .NET Core. If you write Azure functions in a different language, for example, Python, Java, or JavaScript, there are variations of similar patterns available which will help you achieve the same. In case you guys want us to make videos covering those languages, do let us know in the comment section. So let's start with the cross-cutting requirements. What is a cross-cutting requirement or concern? According to Wikipedia definition, cross-cutting concerns are parts of a program that rely on or must affect many other parts of the system. They form the basis for development of aspects. For example, if you're writing an application for handling medical records, the indexing of such records is a core concern, while logging a history of changes to the record database or user database or an authentication system would be a cross-cutting concern since they interact with more parts of the program. Examples of cross-cutting concerns would be caching, logging, data or input validation, business rules, localization and globalization of content, etc. Such cross-cutting concerns do not fit cleanly into object-oriented programming or procedural programming. This is where aspect-oriented programming comes in to help us out and keep the implementations clean. So where does the clean architecture fit into cross-cutting concerns? You can keep implementations of cross-cutting concerns as part of the infrastructure projects as we had shown in the last video and have them injected in the hosting project, which is the Azure function in this case, using .NET Core. Focusing on the cross-cutting concerns in .NET Core. In .NET Core, you can achieve the variation of such implementation through dependency injection of cross-cutting concerns. Let me show you how to configure that. So here we have the solution open, which actually was the same code that we actually shown in the last video, which is from our GitHub repo, and we will give you the link of the code of GitHub so that you can refer it as well. Here you can see we have actually configured a couple of cross-cutting concern. For example, correlation delegating handler, header logging delegating handler. As part of the infrastructure project, the implementation of these delegating handlers actually handle and provide us functionality that will be cross-cutting and not related to the core aspect of the actual application. For example, in this case, we want to ensure that all the incoming headers get included as part of the global properties when we are actually logging any detail as part of the request processing. Similarly, correlation provider, if we actually have a scenario where we want to correlate to the incoming system or to the downstream system using a common correlation ID, we want to actually write a cross-cutting concern which can actually ensure that all the incoming requests or downstream calls contain this common correlation ID. Now, how do we actually configure this? Now, once we have actually defined these cross-cutting concerns as part of the infrastructure project, we can actually go to our startup, which is the host project. And in case of .NET Core, you get this easy way of actually configuring all of this. In our case, these are the ways in which we can actually configure. Here we have actually configured correlation delegating handler and header logging handler as part of transient logging and a few other dependencies as well. You might actually have questions about add scoped, add transient. I can give you a brief about those, but you can read more about in the documentations as well. A transient object is always different. A new instance is provided to every controller and every service. In case of scoped objects, they are same within a request, but different across different requests. And singleton objects are the same for every object and every request. Let me run the application and show you how these are getting executed. I already have this application running. Let me try accessing the content. As you can see, my correlation delegating handler actually is first invoked, and here as part of the implementation, by actual cross-cutting concern first get involved, and then our actual implementation gets involved. Let me run it one more time. So here you can see the correlation handler are invoked, and these values are basically captured. So both the above examples in this case are, in our case, is the HTTP trigger endpoints. So if you want to achieve the similar functionality, in case when you have a non-HTTP Azure function, you will have to build or utilize a module that lets you run your application code as a pipeline of modules, and you can actually configure pre or post modules alongside the modules that run the core application logic. In case of HTTP, this case is fairly straightforward, utilizing the delegating handlers in this case, and basically injecting them as part of the processing pipeline and basically interjecting pre or post steps. In case of a non-HTTP case, you will have to write your own pipeline and write your own modules. There are various ways you can actually do that. You can write your own pipeline builder, or you can actually utilize one of those one of the components that are available in the market as well. For example, Mediator. We'll put a link of that in the description so that you can actually explore it on your own. A word of caution, cross-cutting concern should not be mixed with non-functional requirements. We hope to build a video which will actually cover the non-functional requirements and the other aspects like mediator and dependency injection that we've actually covered here. I hope this video gives you a brief about how to what are cross-cutting concerns and how to build those cross-cutting concerns and inject in a HTTP based Azure function. I hope you like this video. If you like it, please hit the like button. Please subscribe and click the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video. Thanks a lot.